Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma. In case we haven't met yet, I'd be surprised, but go ahead and put hashtag pajama in the comments below. Then I know it's the first time you're being exposed to the Pajama Grandma. I always like to know when I'm exposing myself to new people. Funny, right? Today's challenge is kind of a heavy topic, but very, very important. Let me start off with a quick, short version of a question for you. Are you getting the results that you want right now, right this minute, in any area of your life, not just supersizing your business? Are you? If the answer to that is no, you haven't already achieved exactly what you say that you want, guess what? There is a false belief, at least one, sometimes many, operating in your life on autopilot. And a lot of times you don't even know about it. That's how we know that we're not, that's how we know we've got a false belief, is if we don't have what we want, if we don't have the results that we want in an area of our life, we know that there's something going on that's preventing that. It's almost always a false belief that's running at the subconscious level in our life. So how do you identify that? How do you know? How do you know it's a false belief? And then what the heck do you do about it when you discover that you've got a false belief operating in your life? A couple of things. I'm going to show you a strategy for killing false beliefs and letting them go. I like to say once and for all, but I'm going to admit there's some beliefs that I have had in my life that are so deeply ingrained and that I got when I was a little girl that are harder to let go of than just this one-time strategy. Sometimes you have to dig a little deeper and find other strategies as well. But I want to give you this quick strategy because it does get rid of a lot of the surface false beliefs and a lot of the beliefs that are just preventing us from making progress towards supersizing our business that we don't even realize are happening. I'll give you a couple examples of that. When I was first building my first business, when I was first supersizing the Italian food manufacturing business, because although I had done that in corporate America, it was the first business that I was really intentionally trying to really grow and supersize. And I'd been struggling for about a year. I'd been trying all kinds of things and doing all kinds of things and putting all kinds of things in place. And some things would work and then some things wouldn't. Or some things would work a little bit, but not as much as I thought that they would. And some things I would just hit a brick wall and they wouldn't work at all. So they were kind of like a waste of time and money and energy and my resources. And I was really not having a whole lot of time back then. I was busy. I was working really hard. I was trying to save money because I was living on borrowed money. And all in all, the whole combination of events was kind of mystifying to me because I knew I was trying really, really hard, but I didn't feel like I was getting the results that I should be getting for all the effort that I was putting in toward growing and supersizing that business. I mean, we were growing a little, but we weren't growing. I thought we should have been growing exponentially based on how much effort I was putting into it. So it wasn't about working harder. It was about working smarter, but I didn't see that. And I actually didn't even realize that I had a false belief running on in my subconscious underneath the surface until one Sunday afternoon. I was standing in a grocery store. I was doing store demos every weekend, and I did them for almost that whole first year. I did store demos, and I had just met a gentleman who also was the manufacturer, and he was at the store. He had a new product, and he was at the store demoing his product that weekend too. And we had a great talk over the weekend, and we had decided we wanted to do some projects together to mutually benefit both of our businesses. And I was really excited about it. But as we got to the afternoon lull, because there's always, any activity, there's ebbs and flows, right? And there's inevitably busy times at a store demo and really boring times at a store demo. And so we were in one of those lulls, and all of a sudden I realized that my brain was running through all the reasons that I shouldn't work with him and why we shouldn't do this project together. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And I thought, maybe I'm just being reasonable and I'm facing reality and I'm really analyzing the situation. But really, it was, and this is the first time that it hit my conscience, my brain, I actually thought about it on a conscious level. I realized that I was thinking all of these things because I thought if I did this project with him, it meant I would have to work harder, I would have to work longer, I would have to do more. And my subconscious was feeding me up all these reasons because I was freaking exhausted. was working 7 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day. And I thought, how the hell am I going to work more to make this project take off? And that's when it dawned on me that this belief had been operating all along in my life. And it has especially come home to roost as I started to make efforts toward trying to supersize this business. So even though I had the goal of wanting to really grow this business and just, make it fantastic, there was this conflicting belief inside of me that said, you have to do all this work yourself. You're going to have to work harder if you supersize your business. So you can't do that because you're already working as hard as you can in this situation. Because not only was I working that much to grow the business, but I also had a family that I was trying to maintain and a relationship I was trying to maintain. And so I wasn't getting the results I wanted. And that became the indicator to me that there's something else going on in my life or in the situation that I'm not consciously aware of, because the result I'm getting isn't the result that I want. So there must be some kind of a conflict in me that's creating this. So how do you let go of that? Now, all of a sudden I realize I have this false belief and it's been coloring everything that I've done for the past year. And I know I got to get rid of this because it's not giving me the results I want. Well, thinking about it sometimes helps. Sometimes just realizing and having the conscious awareness that this is going on and shining a light on it and rationally saying, okay, well, this doesn't make any sense at all. There's a whole lot of things I can do besides me personally working harder and longer hours to make this happen. Number one, the cool thing is he's going to do he's going to do at least half of the work and half the effort to make this happen, because it's like a strategic partnership that we're going to do. So that wasn't true, right? That's false. But sometimes our rational brain isn't enough to let go of a false belief like this. So I learned a strategy that's really, really effective. And it's just a little one. There's tons of them out there. There's emotional freedom technique. There's all kinds of sophisticated ways. There's meditation. There's probably thousands of different ways to let go of false beliefs. I've actually done a couple series of videos and blog posts of how to let go of false beliefs. But I just want to share one of my favorite strategies with you, because you can use it anytime, any place, and it's really, really effective. So what I like to do is just take a small object. If I'm outside walking in the park or something, I'll grab a little rock or stone. If I'm inside, I'll just grab a penny or a bottle cap or something that I can easily hold in my hand. And I take that object and I put it in my hand, and I imagine that that object is the false belief that I have. So I'm imagining that this rock, this little stone or penny, is my belief that in order to supersize my business, I have to work harder. I have to do more. I have to put forth more effort. I have to work longer. And it's all me. I have to be the one that does it. It's all on me. Then I close my hand around that object and I imagine, where in my body or my mind do I notice that I'm holding that belief? And how does that belief make me feel? If I think that I have to do everything myself and it's 100% up to me, which, okay, our lives are 100% up to us. So that's a true statement. That's a true belief. And I do believe that my life is 100% my responsibility, and my experiences and how I experience things is up to me. But supersizing my business and growing my business and getting a result in my life is not 100% up to me, right? It's not all up to me. None of us create our businesses in a vacuum. If I think it's all up to me, I'm in trouble, because business is inherently about relationships. And there's no way yeah, you gotta have a relationship with yourself, but if I want to supersize my business, having just a relationship with me isn't gonna cut it. It's a matter of creating relationships with other people. Therefore, it can't be entirely up to me. So, false belief. Where I feel that false belief in my body, where do I notice that I feel heavy or negative or bad when I think about this false belief or hear this false belief? If somebody says, hey, you're going to have to work harder if you want to do that, where do I feel that? I feel it in my gut. I feel it in like my shoulder blades, in between my shoulder blades. I feel it in the back of my neck. I feel it a whole lot of places in my body, but that's where I feel it. So imagine that the stone is the belief and your hand is where in your body you actually feel that feeling of heaviness or overwhelm or frustration or whatever it might be that you feel when you experience a false belief. Now, open your hand and touch the stone. Touch the false belief. Slide the false belief around on your hand. You can move it, right? You can actually pick it up. That false belief isn't really attached to your stomach or your mind or your heart or your body and anywhere in your body. It's not attached. You can move it around. You can move that belief around. How empowering is that? Pretty crazy, right? Then you can actually just turn your hand over and drop and let go of and disconnect from that false belief and realize that it doesn't have to run your life. It doesn't have to operate anything. It doesn't have to be what colors any of your experiences anymore. So that's just one quick and easy strategy I love to use to let go of a false belief once I realize that I've got a false belief. Like I said, if you want more on this, go ahead and comment in the comments below, because I've got an entire video series I'd be glad to share with you and hook you up with that walks you through. It's free. It's free, of course. Some of the steps and fun things that I've done to let go of false beliefs. I love doing that activity. I did the I'm not enough one, because almost everybody on the planet in some way, shape, or form in their lifetime has felt like they're not good enough, or they're not smart enough, or they're not enough of something. And so I did a whole series where I did different fun activities of killing false beliefs. One was, I'd write it on toilet paper and flush it down the toilet. I burned it. I wrote it on Post-it notes and burned them in a candle. I burned them in a little bucket at work one day. So I like to do things like that because I know how devastating false beliefs can be in our lives, and that it's entirely up to us when and if we let them go. But if we want the results that we want in our life, if we want the relationships we want, if we want the financial abundance that we want, if we want the businesses that we want, because we're all here to supersize our business, right? If we want to make that happen and to get that result, if there's false beliefs standing in our way, got to be willing to let them go. That's it. Have a fantastic day. Your action for today is do this activity. Just pick up false belief and try this one time today and see how it makes you feel. That's it. I will see you tomorrow with day 27 of Supersizing Your Business. Pajama Grandma out. Bye.